Okay, when it comes to MIDI clips, we have a lot of the same editing principles as audio clips. So let's make this one a little bit longer. And what I'm doing here is I'm grabbing the top right, which is just going to loop this one chord. Okay? If I want to make the clip longer by itself, I can do that by double clicking on it on the header and then going down here and say, here's the start, here's the end. Okay, so let's crank that up to say this is, 22 measures long now. And then turn off the loop. Okay, now you see that I have a nice long MIDI clip and a chord here just at the beginning. Okay, here's my whole MIDI clip, mostly empty. So let's take this and I'm just going to do Command D, slide it back to get it on the grid. And we'll do that. It's going to make some different material for us here. And then we'll start. Okay. So now we have a nice long MIDI clip here. Let me just kind of redo what I just did in case it was weird. So I can double click to make a MIDI clip. And when I do that, it's going to make that MIDI clip fit into my current grid. Okay. So my current grid is, these rectangles. And if I zoom in, I can see how long that is. It's 1 bar, 41 to 42. Okay, but if I made a MIDI clip now, it's going to make just a quarter note, which is one of these boxes. So it depends on how far you're zoomed, but it's going to make it the length of your current grid. Now that doesn't really matter because we can double click on it and go here to the end box and just click and drag and make it longer. Turn off loop, and then I can just open it up and do whatever I want. Okay, so that's how we set the length of the MIDI clip. Now I'm going to go through some tools to help you navigate this thing down here. This is called the piano roll editor in just a minute. Let's focus on up here for now. So just the same as audio, I can select some stuff, Command C, go to another MIDI clip, Command V, and paste it like so. Can do that all over the place. I can click the header to copy a whole clip. Let's delete that one. I can press delete to delete a clip. And I can use the kind of magic corners that we talked about before, but those work a little bit differently. So I can grab the top to kind of suck it in and chop off the back stuff. I can grab the right side to do the opposite. But I don't have fades. I can't just zoom in and get an automatic fade on a MIDI clip because MIDI clips work differently in that way. Volume is determined by a thing called velocity, which we're going to look at in just a minute. So you can do that with velocity, or you could do it with just volume automation on the track if you wanted to. Most of the time, though, you don't need a fade for a MIDI clip. Otherwise, you can click and drag to move things around. You can move MIDI clips between tracks. Just remember that if you do, they're going to change instrument to the new instrument, right? So this is a piano, and now this is a Wurlitzer organ. So your instrument stays on the track that it was on. Now there's one other weird thing that you can do, which is drag these to an audio track. So let's maybe take a minute and just talk through that, because it's kind of confusing.